Three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of Unlearned and Reborn, a podcast where old habits are unlearned and new ones are reborn. Hey, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's been a while, but hey, I'm back. I was a little sick, but thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm your host, Shania Alyse, and today let's talk self sabotage. I mean, have you ever found yourself self sabotaging your dreams, your marriage, your friendships, your opportunities, all of that? Have you ever felt like you knew that this was something that you were so ready to do? Oh my gosh, I'm going to start the podcast. Bet I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And you're doing the podcast, you're doing the episodes, and before you know it, here comes little old self sabotage. Don't worry, girl. We're going to talk about it today, okay? There are a couple of areas that I felt like self sabotage really, really had me in a chokehold. A chokehold. And it was my dreams, my marriage, my friendships. Those three things, y'all, self sabotage had your girl hurting. But that's okay. I'm going to talk to you about how it had me hurting so you can get up, okay? Is that all right? All right. Come on. So y'all know I like definitions. So I was like, okay, without looking it up, what would I define self-sabotage to be, right? So for me, self-sabotage is the intentional hindrance and negative redirection of your own life due to fear and unbelief caused by yourself. I'm going to say it again. The intentional hindrance and negative redirection of your own life due to fear and unbelief caused by you. You. It's caused by you, girl. You doing this to yourself. And we are really going to talk about it because oftentimes when bad things happen in our life, what's the first thing we say? Y'all, the devil is busy. He busy, ain't he? He's so busy. He just running up and down my life. He running up and down my household. He and my kids. He and my spouse. He everywhere. Like, we are so quick to say it's somebody else. I saw something on social media and the lady was like, her and her husband, they have an imaginary person that they blame. So they're not always down each other's throats. They would say, oh, it's that Jacob, that's something. I might have to try that because I be wanting to squirt with my husband, but that's a whole nother episode. But yeah, so I just feel like self-sabotage is such a taboo in a way because we don't want to say it's us that's doing the bending. No, just like doing the stuff. Like, we don't want to say it's us, but baby girl, sis, it really might be you. It's not even might be. It is you. It's you. You're causing your what's the word? What's the doggone word? You're causing like your own setbacks. You're causing like you're fast track, like you going, and now like you are standing in your own way. That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Like you're in the way. Get out the way. Move. Get out the way, please. Like, purposefully changing the direction of your life in a negative manner because you are afraid of real change is a form of self-sabotage. And, it's not even I don't want you to feel like if you're agreeing with this, you're like, okay, wait a minute, I might be doing that to myself. Don't click off. Don't block me. Don't delete me. I'm gonna help you because oftentimes I've noticed it's really, really big in people like myself who are like creators or dreamers. You find that because your dreams are not, going the way that you want it to go, or it's not doing what you thought it was going to do by this time. And how we set our goals, but sometimes, the goals don't be goaling. They just be standing. And you'll find yourself getting discouraged. And it's like, self-sabotage will have you jump ship before the storm even sets. Like, you see a little bit of wave and you're like, peace, I'm out. I got my life jacket. I got my 30-day supply of food in the backpack. I'm jumping ship. And self sabotage will have you doing that. You're prematurely giving up on opportunities, or say you are in an opportunity, you chilling, you feeling it, and a little bit of hardship comes. You like, no, 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 I'm out. Like, no, I'm gonna help you. You gonna be all right. Remember in the beginning of the intro of the episode, and I was telling you about how self sabotage, I dealt with that in a couple of different areas of my life, right? So the first one was my dreams. I found myself being a very big dreamer since I was a little girl. Y'all, I have wanted to be just about every occupation under the sun. Y'all don't believe me? Here we go. I wanted to be a teacher until I became old enough to understand what teachers was going through. And I said, I'd be to knock somebody's child out and be in a jailhouse. So teacher was off the board, like middle school, early high school. Psych, don't want to be a teacher. I then wanted to be a heart surgeon. And I followed this one through a little longer than the teacher. I went to a school and I called myself going the pre-med route. So, this is unrelated to this semi is related to the episode. I'm going to say it anyway. Shout out to all the pre-med majors, because the amount of stress that you are under as an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, however you are, when you decide that God has called you to that, God bless you, because y'all, I was in the library stressed out. I'm talking about, that's probably why I first started getting my gray hairs, because your girl was stressed. I was stressed trying to chase this dream of being this heart surgeon. And I had to ask myself, I said, baby girl, wait a minute. So once you do undergrad, you got to do graduate. Then you got to do residency and a whole bunch of other stuff before you can even, yeah, that's okay. Y'all can have that. So now fast forward and here I am, content creating, doing what I didn't know I loved at the time, right? So, but even in that, right, I have always felt like, or even knew that I was talented, right? But I didn't feel talented. So like, I knew I had talents. I knew I was funny, because y'all be laughing on the pod. Don't play with me. I know I'm funny. I knew I was charismatic. I knew I was a pretty girl. I'm fine now, but I knew I wasn't ugly, no ugly Betty or nothing like that. But I knew that I had a very, very pure heart. People that know me on a level beyond the podcast, and that like have had like genuine conversations with me, or that know me from like my heart, that that I got a big heart. I really do. So notice that even in that statement, I knew I was talented, but I didn't feel talented. Remember earlier when I had told you my definition of self-sabotage? Those are two things: fear and unbelief. So I had the unbelief aspect with my dreams. Talented to me meant educated, having an education. My dad's side of the family, they are very well educated. So I was like, I have to be educated. I got to make sure that I do this. I got to make sure that I do this, for my dad, so that I can live on, with the name and, live on with the thing. So, that was a whole bunch of pressure that I put on myself. I made sure that I aced my classes in school. In high school, I was in all the clubs and just everything. And, I wonder, I think I would still have been very active academically, but I think I would have upped it up on the social aspect, because being social was something I really, really enjoyed, but I kind of put that on the back burner for academics. Talented to me meant being accomplished, having these titles, having recognition, like what was I saying? Did that ever happen to y'all? And I'm not even going to edit this out because that's very funny, because I literally just lost my track of thought. But, my love language is words of affirmation, right? So most of these things that I named come from someone else giving it to you, right? So you study hard, you sweat, blood, tears, that 4-year degree. You walk across the stage and they give you the degree, which they say is like not the real thing. That's crazy to me. Like, baby, y'all gonna give it to me now, right now. You're not about to send it to me in no mail. Give it to me now. I don't care how long I gotta wait. I'm going to the printout and you finna give it to me. But accomplishments, titles, recognition. Okay, you are the most beautiful woman. Okay, someone's going to give me that title. So, realizing that my love language, what it was, I now can make a shift to make sure that I am not chasing validation in people and things. It's okay to want to be validated. Like, I love when my husband validates me. I love when my parents are validating. I love when my friends are validating. But I do not chase validation from them in a sense, because then when you stop getting it, your whole world is just gone. And I've experienced that. I didn't believe that I could get to where I sit now without man's, stamp of approval, without having a degree, without, you know, having the titles and everything else that I thought that I would have at age of 26. I am experiencing some of the best times of my life for the simple fact that I am living my life for myself first. Then I have my family, my immediate family that I've created. Then my extended family, everything else down the line. But I am genuinely enjoying my life today. Oh my goodness, like what I could never imagine. And it's really because I've done a lot of self work, and I'm just really, really telling you guys, if you can stop self sabotaging your dreams, you'll actually be able to start living them. So, one of my dreams is to host a conference for women, right, that are ready to start their healing journey. Girl, you know what? I've been following you for some years. Girl, I'm ready. Like, that is one of my passions, is to do things for broken women that want to press play on their lives. They're tired of pressing pause, stop, rewind. They are ready for a new life. I really, really, really want to bring joy to women like that. Like, because I've always been drawn to women that needed something that I had. And I didn't realize that, growing up. I felt like I would always have not needy friends, but, looking back, they did need things from me. Not even money, but they needed like my advice, or they needed, girl, like, you're so good at this. Like, how do you do that? How do you do, and I'm like, okay, now being an adult, understanding and believing and knowing who I am, I know that that's my secret sauce. Like, that's the secret sauce that Bugs Bunny was drinking in Space Jam. That's what God gave me, And it took me a while to find the dream within the dream, because a lot of times, so we have our own outside dream, right? Our dream of being an entrepreneur, our dream of being a CEO, our dream of retiring our parents, those things. But then the dream within the dream is equipping yourself with the fortitude and even the ability to even be able to live out the outside dream. Because you got to think, I really think that's why we can't get things right away, and God lets us have to go through some stuff. Because if, you are meant to be the multimillionaire, right? If he was to give you that money right now, babes, like, let's just be honest, we wouldn't hear from you. You'd be in Cabo every other week, spending money left and right. Like, you'd be down bad in 6 months. So sometimes he has to teach us things for us to now learn, okay, money management, okay, time management. You know what I mean? But, that is one of my dreams, to host a conference, to be a keynote speaker, to be on a panel. And, another thing I had to overcome within the self-sabotage is I wouldn't even put myself out there. I know that's something I want to do. And I know people that are actively kind of in that space. I'm scared to ask them, well, I'm only 26 and, I just started my podcast this year, a couple of months ago. But it's like, again, self-sabotage, because I'm fearful that I might not be qualified enough on paper, but I know I'm qualified within. I won't even apply, or I won't even reach out and say, hey, I know your panel is full, but, whenever you guys do another event, I would love to be a panelist. Like, I started to realize, once I started to understand what self-sabotage was, right? I started to then realize what, like, moments of when self-sabotage would show up. Example. So I would get a glimpse of this new and improved lifestyle that I had been praying about, journaling about, annoying God about. I just know this man is tired of me. Girl, you praying that same prayer again? Get up from the ground. Get up. Get up. Get up. Like, pray something else, you know? And I would make purposeful efforts, but then make a negative choice to move me further away from my dream. Sis, what do you mean? Okay, right. So I told y'all, it took me, I don't know, a while to realize that, okay, content creation and being a creator is literally what I was put on this earth to do. Like, I am so blessed. I feel warm and fuzzy inside every time that I say it, because I know how long it took me to get away from what I thought, my dad would think if I told him, like, hey, college is not for me. You're so smart. You had a 4.0. I did. But, like, it's too slow. It's slow pace. Like, I need to get a degree in 48 days. Like, if I could just get a degree in 48 days, I'd be straight. Like, it's moving too slow for me. You're like, it's a waste of time. I need to be doing something else. Like, I constantly felt that pull and that drag to do something else. And it's nothing like creators or entrepreneurs or people that are still trying to find your purpose. Know that you are not alone when you are steady feeling that pull. That pull, like, man, I'm at this job, but I could be doing this myself. Y'all, oh my gosh. I felt that so many times, doing things for people and being like, bruh, I could do this myself. Like, ask my husband. That is a line I use all the time when we go out to eat. And y'all know from the previous episode, your girl don't be cooking like that. But I done picked up a couple of recipes. But I'll eat something, I'll be like, now I could have made this at the crib. I could have went on YouTube and found out how to make it. Like, so know that you're not alone when you're sitting in spaces and you see other people living your dream. Listen, that's it hurts. It hurts. It really hurt. And like I said, I had these purposeful actions, like freeing up my time to create. Okay, that's purposeful because I, said I wanted to do content creation. But the negative choice I made was, okay, I'm going to enroll in school because I feel like I need a degree to get, to where I'm trying to get. Well, why is that negative, girl? There's nothing wrong with school. Well, I just told y'all that I've already had many encounters with enrolling in school, and I knew that school was not for me. But because I felt like, okay, how am I going to present myself to these people? And I don't have all these accolades and all these things behind my name. How am I going to do that? Just say, oh, God called me to do this. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Then people going, okay, ma'am, you can take you and your God up out of here. So, like, it was a challenge. And it took a while to even realize that that was a form of self-sabotage. You don't want to be in school. School is taking up your time, but you'd rather pursue something that you are not passionate about to get the accolades. Remember from earlier, the accolades from others. Girl, you did that. You got a degree. Like, man, you had a business. You just had a baby and you got a degree. Girl, you've been grinding all of that. And the whole time you're struggling. I said, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. I will not be doing that. And I had to make a decision. Okay, either you're going to keep journaling, filling up notebook pages about these dreams, about this podcast, about your name being here, about you getting able to work with this person, or you actually gonna start doing it. And a lot of times, I know it's harsh, but a lot of times, most people will stay right there in the preparation phase or the wishing phase. The phase of where you're just, I'm going to manifest it. You just talking about it. You ain't moved out the chair in a while. So it's like, what are we talking about? Nothing really, in my opinion. We're really just talking and we're wasting time. Dreams, it's amazing to be a dreamer. It's amazing to have a dream, but guess what? When you leave from this earth and you did nothing with the dreams, guess what happens with the dreams, baby girl? They die with you. I mean, even if you told your children about the dream, they're not obligated to take that dream from the ground up and do something with it. So now you've died with 3, 4, 5 dreams, 3, 4, 5 businesses in the graves in which nothing. And I love y'all too much to not put y'all on so that you don't have to go to the grave with these ideas, these dreams, these aspirations. That pull that you feeling, baby, listen, that's purpose calling you. That's destiny saying, what up, baby? Take me out to dinner. What we doing? That's destiny. And a lot of y'all are like, decline. Girl, who is this unknown number calling? Decline. No, pick up the phone. It's time to walk out these dreams, okay? Stop self-sabotaging. All right? Come on. Number 2, self-sabotaging my marriage. Okay, me and my husband just celebrated our 5th year anniversary last month, October 11th, 2017. I made him mine, and he's stuck with me. No, I'm just playing. You know. But yeah, self-sabotaging my marriage, right? So I realized that, well, I've talked about it on the podcast, that my parents are divorced. And my husband's parents, they've been together since pretty much he's been alive, 20 plus years. And I remember that was a really sore spot for me, in the first couple of years of our marriage, because, I would say things and I would be like, excuse me. So I would say stuff like, well, I'll just pack up my stuff and leave. Like I'll just leave. And, I didn't really realize where that was coming from. But my husband had pointed out, and he was like, listen, like, I'm going to tell you now, like, when I said I do, I meant that for forever. And it's like, oh, okay, hush, just shush, just shush it. Just hush, just hush. And he was like, if you leave, if the marriage is going to be, over, you would have to be the one to, file for divorce, because I'm not doing it. And he was like, and even if you file, I'm more than likely not even going to sign the paper. So good luck with that. And I remember through therapy and things like that, and I would tell them, like, I don't know why, but when I get into a disagreement with somebody, the first thing I think of is either we're going to fight about it or I'm just going to leave. Like, there's no in between. Like, I don't know if it's the Houston in me, baby, or what, but what are we talking about? Because if we are not getting to it in the street, then leave me alone, please. Like, please. Like, God's doing a number on me and you're trying to reel it out, and I just might let you have it for real. But like, I really, really was triggered by that in the early parts of our marriage. And I had to later understand, again, through therapy, that came from my abandonment that I had from my dad not being active in my life growing up. So I felt out of place. And my first reaction was initially to try to adapt. But later on down the line, that adaptation was then infected with self-sabotage. Yes. So, like, during arguments, I went from trying to be understanding and this loving, doting wife to, what's up? Like, what are we talking about? Like, now I'm like, more instigative and more aggressive and just, and me, I can get like that, but I honestly believe it. My heart of hearts, I am a sweetheart. Like, I don't really, like, care to be an aggressor person, but don't push me, because you just might have to find out, okay? And instead of accepting this new form of love, because even my husband, like, this is the longest consistent relationship I have been in. Like, my ex in high school, we were off and on, I think, for 3.5 or so years. But like, high school, like, I mean, and shout out to the high school sweethearts that make it, like, for real. Shout out to y'all. But that just wasn't the case for me. And it's no love lost. Like, I don't feel no type of way. It was just that I just know that relationship and another relationship, we weren't really like dating. We was just, yeah. Where is this going? No. But I realized that with relationships that I had become accustomed to, like, this absentee type of love. Like, oh, I'm going to just give you what I give you and you just going to be all right with that. And it was like, y'all, like I said, I'm a sweetheart. I like writing. I love writing poems. Like, y'all, listen, I was a top tier girlfriend, like, for real. But like, I would write poems, like, I want to decorate your locker. I want to do like all of that. And I even like, I'll be honest. I don't think I have done it as much with my husband because he really is just not like that. But I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna keep you updated. But that's just me. Like I want to, and again, that's because that's my words of affirmation. I want you to know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm riding for you, that I love you. And I felt like triggered, in the early parts of our marriage because I'm like, okay, again, this is my first like serious, for real serious, long-term relationship. So, we living together, we have disagreements. I became a person, y'all, that I had never even knew I could become. Just so, all the time, just uptight and just, it's almost like instead of embracing the softness and him not really raising his voice and stuff like that, it's like the opposite. I was almost offended like by it. Like, no, I need chaos. I need, dishonesty. I need to be second best. I need this in my relationship. And, I had also came into the marriage with thinking that vulnerability meant weakness. Like, yes, vulnerability means weakness. And even in disagreements, I felt like it was affirmed. Like, I'm stating my feelings. He would say, well, it's not really that serious to me. Boom. My brain is like, okay, bet. Like, go back in your shell where you belong. Nice try, sis. Don't know what you were doing in the first place. And, it made me feel like my voice was like so small and I couldn't really use it. So now feeling those feelings, right? Here comes self sabotage to give me a nice big old hug. Like, yes, sis, what you feel is right. Like, you good with me. Let's just stay down. And that's, I feel like, how women in marriage form the get back mentality. Don't worry about it, baby, because I'm going to get my lip back. Y'all know women like that. Or how about some of y'all are the women like that? I'm going to get my lip back. I don't know. I guess I can't. Hold up. Rewind. I can be like that sometimes. But for me, I'm more like, and not even try to be no spiritually deep. I really be like, God, you gonna get them, because the way I want to get them, I'm gonna end up in jail. Like, so I'd rather you do it so I can stay and be with my family and be with y'all on the pod. But I really do, sometimes people will make you want to make that drastic choice. Okay. But yeah, the get back, right? So I had formed this misconception of the get back, thinking, okay, so I'm gonna try to hurt your feelings before you hurt me, and I'm gonna just be good like that, like, um, and self sabotage created that illusion of, if I stay in control, that keeps me from being vulnerable, which then in turn will hurt you. But what I found out through therapy is that no, sweetheart, you're hurting yourself. Now with self sabotage, you've become not only the victim, but you are also the abuser, because you are inflicting the wound on yourself. You know that your love language, me, I know my love language is words of affirmation. So instead of saying, hey, babe, like, I really need you to start, pouring into me more. I really need you to do this. I withhold it. And I try to, I walk around the house, with an attitude, or I'm snappy, or I'm like, um, I ain't gonna do that for you. Make your own sound. Women, and I'm acting like that. And I'm thinking it's hurting you. And my husband be like, girl, I do not care about your attitude. I'm gonna still hug you, or I'll leave you alone, and I don't care. Like, it's like, again, drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. No, sis, that's not how that works. And in a sense, I even feels like it hurts more being the, doing the self-sabotage, because again, you're the abuser and the victim, because you know how, like, ladies waxing, right? And when you go to your waxer, like, I don't know what it is about when they pull it up, like, do it sting a little bit. Okay, cool. But I've been getting waxed for almost a year now. So, like, I'm fine. Y'all, I tried to, because my mama didn't talk me up to this foolishness. Oh, you can wax yourself at the house. So I listened to her, and I buy all the stuff off Amazon, and I call myself trying to pull a strip at the house. Y'all, I have never been that close to meeting Jesus Christ. Never. Than I was when I tried to pull that strip off of my bikini line. Baby, when I tell you I was in the bathroom hollering, and my mama just a kiki, like, it's just so funny. Like, what's funny? What's funny? It's not funny. And I remember I was like, Mama, I cannot get it off. I was like, I need to get in the shower and I need to listen. When you, like I was saying earlier, when the wax lady do it, I'm straight. But when I know I gotta brace myself to pull the skin taut and pull it, I just feel like it's hurt so much worse. And that's the same with self-sabotage. You feel like because you're doing it, oh, I'm gonna be good, I'm tough, baby girl, all you're doing is just twisting the knife in a little deeper, in a little deeper. Then, when you're as you're trying to heal and you have to start pulling it out, yeah, it's gonna be painful. It's gonna be so painful. So no, I don't think because you are the one that's, putting up the wall, oh, I'm going to be better off this way. Eventually, you're going to feel that pain later on down the line. And, you just want to hope that it's not crazy intense. But, that's how it was for me in the early parts of our marriage. I was like, no, I'm going to believe, these what my mind is telling me, and that this is not real love. I'm waiting for my heart to get broken. I'm waiting for him to cheat. I'm waiting for a girl to come to me woman to woman. I'm just, because of that's how I've experienced in the past. So again, like I said earlier about, I'm thinking about a big wave, and I see a little wave and I'm like, oh no, I'm jumping ship. That's the same thing that was happening in the marriage. I felt like because I saw little resemblances of past behavior from previous relationships, I'm like, oh baby, no, I already know where this is going. And it's like, it could be an honest nothing. A lady on TikTok was saying that something that she tells couples when they come to her for counseling is to never stop giving your spouse the benefit of the doubt. And it's like, I'm really trying to implement that, because she was like, if you don't, then you start to villainize them. And I'm telling you, right hand to God, I will admit, I was definitely villainizing my husband. And I'm not saying like, he wasn't doing stuff that was made, like some of the stuff, it really was hurtful and it really was upsetting to me. But in my mind, I had already formed that something of this nature was going to happen. So it's like when it semi happened, or say it did happen, and he, made me upset, or, he came home late, or, anything, right? I'm already like, bags packed. I got a ticket. I'm just waiting for this confirmation for this ticket to go through so I can pack my stuff and get out. Like, sis, relax. So that's self-sabotage in the marriage, right? Wives, if you feel like you are doing this, if you feel like you have gone through this, you are not alone. Your biggest thing is to acknowledge it and then start asking yourself, where did this come from? Like I said, for me, it was abandonment that I had from my father not really being active in my life as a, growing up. So now I cannot put my trust in men. Now I cannot trust what men say. Now men are just going to love me for a moment and then leave. So just ask yourself and try to find the root of that and, go from there. It's not something that you may figure out in a day's time, a week's time, a month's time. It might take some digging, but I got you. The next area of my life that was very much so affected by self-sabotage was friendships. Oh my gosh, friendships, right? So self-sabotage within friendships can look like, but are not limited to. They look like this for me. At the time, they can look a lot of different ways, but not having set boundaries. Y'all know how we feel about boundaries on the pod. Not being accountable with yourself and your friends. Agreeing to do things that you do not like or have time for. The inability to say no. And being friends with opposing personalities so that you can feel needed, wanted, and desired. That's going to be next week's pod. Trust me, you are going to want to listen to that. But so, more about personality types. So, excuse me. So, the moments when self-sabotage of my friendships would show up would be when I would accept multiple cancellations as, oh, that's just how they are. You know, that one person that's just like, oh, girl, sorry, I'm sorry, girl, I can't make it. Oh, girl, I'm sorry, I feel like, girl, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, oh, that's just, it's cool, whatever. Knowing you done already got dread, y'all, that's one thing about me. Come here. I want you to get real close to me, real intimate in my heart for a second. If I've already beat my face and you have the audacity to text me and tell me that you're no longer coming, where are we meeting at so we can square up about it? Where? Because makeup is not cheap, baby girl. And I just put the good on my face and you cancel. Like, it's nothing like getting all done up and plans get canceled. I'd be hurt. Like, I could have saved this out. Like, you know what I mean? Especially, don't let me start taking some pictures. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Overextending my help when they showed they did not want help and they only wanted to complain. Another form of self-sabotage. Sis, why do you keep going out of your way to give these people your opinion and then you're now mad and talking down to yourself because they're not doing what you suggest, but sis is finna go back to Bobby, so let her bobblehead go back over there. Like, stop telling me about it. Like, that's it. Don't tell me about Bobby because you about to go back over there with him. So sorry if somebody's name is Bobby that's listening. I'm just using an example. But, like, no. I found that is something I struggled with for a long time, y'all. Overly giving my opinion on things. And that's not saying, and my comeback was, well, I'm just saying, I would tell my husband, well, I'm just, I was just telling her, like, I was just, telling her, my advice, what I thought. But the more I'm telling you, as years went on and, other things would happen, I'm just like, it is such a peace when you master not saying anything at all. It is such a peace. Oh, okay. If I hit you with the baby, it took me a while to get there because I just felt like I would always want to give my insight and I was oversharing. That's the word. Oversharing this and oversharing my experience with this and oversharing. And then you're like, I could see, looking back how it could come off as, oh, she's just a know-it-all, she just knows this and she just knows that. But genuinely, I was just coming from a place of wanting to help. But I had to realize these people that are complaining to me about the same situation, or maybe they've advanced and it's not the same situation, but they always have a mouth to complain, baby, don't waste your time with them. Or if you are okay with that, then be okay with the consequences that comes from always allowing somebody to spill on you, spill, dump. Like my therapist had said, when I was telling her this years ago, or maybe like a couple of years ago. And she was like, you have to make sure that you even have the capacity to take on someone else's load. She was like, people are selfish and they will just, girl, like, as you're telling them about your day, here they come with their day, they also reciprocate and tell you about their day. But then here they go dumping on you about their marriage, about their job, about their sister, about that child that's just not acting right. And before you know it, there's a damper not only on the conversation, but you now have this burden and this weight, and now you go home and you're negative. You're negative to your spouse. You're negative to your children. You snappy on the phone, like, that kind of thing. She was like, make sure that you are not being somebody's dumpster. She even said in her age that she will tell her friends, listen, today, I don't have the capacity for that today. If you would still like to talk about that later on in the week, we can. But today, I cannot do that. And I have taken that on that, I don't know if I've necessarily had to actually verbatim say that, but I would just end the conversation. Not like just, okay, girl, bye. But I would just keep my responses short. I'm no longer expanding. Oh, girl, dang, that sucks. Well, girl, have you tried to do, this? Did you try to reach out to your therapist? Did you try to call them? Did you try to call the bank? That's your life. That's your circumstance. You do that. No, what I'm going to do, I'll listen for a little bit. You know, I am a great, I'm an involved fan for sure, but I had to shed the dead weight of the friendships that just wanted to dump, use, complain. It's always just an energy drain when I'm with you. No, ma'am. I promise you, I don't have no friends like that now. Nope. Not at all. No. So you might have to reevaluate some of y'all friends. I felt like I always had, I call it the double O, overworked and overwhelmed. Baby, this friendship then became a whole job. And sis, I'm not getting paid for this. So you for real gonna have to go. It's one thing when we go to that job that we hate, but we think about that pay and that trip that we about to take with the girls. And you hold off on wrapping old girl up in the copying room because you're like, you know what? As much as I want to get on you, I got somewhere to be in 2 weeks, so I'm gonna have to hold my peace. But baby, if I'm doing it for free, like just out the kindness of my heart, that was another thing. I had to start guarding my heart, y'all. Sis, friends, if y'all are like me and you have a very big heart, you are sensitive, you are very caring, you have to guard it because people will take advantage of you. Your family will take advantage of you. Your friends, your spouse may even take advantage of you. Your children. And sometimes they don't even do it out of malice. They know that you can be dependent on. They know that you were going to come through. They know you're going to make time and move stuff around their schedule. No, ma'am. I don't do that no more. I will tell somebody no before they finish the sentence. I don't have time for that. I already have some stuff to do today, so I can't do that. I will tell people I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. I don't have time for that. Yeah, tell them. Because if not, I realized that I had started to develop a codependency on these friendships. I just want to be needed. I just want them to call on me when they need something. I just want them to know I'm always there. Girl, like that's stressful. And to me, if we gonna really be honest about it, that's not a real friend. That is a person that is using and abusing the friendship to get the gains that they want. And they're leaving you high, dry, depleted, sad, depressed, stressed, all of it. No, that's not how that works. I had formed not only a codependency, but an addiction to being needed. Have y'all ever met somebody that they're in, they're dealing with, a relationship and you're just like, girl, you need to leave him alone. Or girl, why don't you just leave? And the first thing they say is, oh, but girl, he's going through some things and girl, I'm the only person he got and he needs me. I felt like that with friends, high school, during the college, a little bit, and then forward into the military. That I probably felt about 2000 and high school, whenever I started high school, I don't even remember. But so like freshman year, I carried that codependency and addiction to wanting to be needed with friends all the way up until like 2021, 2020. I know y'all was thinking I was going to say like, oh yeah, I dropped that in 2 years. Yeah, okay. No, ma'am. I literally have just more recently began to master saying no to folks and cutting off dead weight. It used to be so hard for me to cut off because I would say, well, what if they, I would go so extreme. What if they car break down and they tires flat and, their husband is already deployed. So, I'm the only person. You're not the only, baby. Roadside assist. Hello. And let's be real. When you get there, I'm not going to lie, and no shame about it, I don't know how to change a tire. So now we're both here lost and confused, having to call for additional help. Like, what? No. Let people deal with their consequences of the life they chose to live. Now, there are times where people are handed wild cards out of life, but those are so far few in between, y'all. Most of the time, I would say 8 out of the 10 times when people are experiencing hardship and just constant smacks in the face by life, let's sit here and look at the choices that you've made in the past 6 months. And let's really determine if it's everybody else is the reason why you're here, or if it's truly you. Because I used to blame so many other things, but it's like at the end of the day, the dreams, the aspirations that you said that you wanted, nobody held a gun to your head and said, listen, you gonna do this podcast. You gonna do this. You gonna be a content creator. Nobody said that. But these are things that I said I wanted to do. So it's like now when life is happening, you are a woe is me and nothing ever goes right in my life. Well, no. Let's really start to look at it. Who do you have around you? Like, once I realized, y'all, that at times it wasn't even my decisions, it was friends that I had in my circle that was making my life like a damper. I said, oh no, baby. My circle will only be full of people that are driven and are actually achieving their goals. Like, I cannot afford to have a leech around me. I cannot afford to have a complainer around. I cannot afford, when you get to that place where you're like, this is where I am. I've made this life for myself. I've created this space for myself. I love it here. And you protect it and you hold on to it. And you are like, I am not letting nobody, nothing come in between. You at a good spot. Because it's a whole lot of no's that it took to get there. We be, oh yes, about the yeses. But listen, when you really, really are really trying to go after something in life, it's going to be a lot of no's from yourself and from other people. A lot of closed door. But listen, keep going. Keep pushing. I used to tell myself, well, I ain't going to have no friends. I ain't going to have no friends. And I realized, like, wait a minute. I did have friends. Like, yeah, we don't live in the same state anymore, so that sucks. But I was like, I have friends that genuinely care about me, and they are not taking and draining me. Those are the friends that I want to still be connected with, not these people. So, be careful that you're not just keeping people around for the comfortability of it. Oh, girl, well, I just be wanting to, hang. Girl, I will go to Target by myself in a minute. Target, please sponsor your girl, okay? Like, I don't need you to come with, and it's the thing. I realized all this stuff that I was needing from these people, all I left with was nothing. I done gave you a 45-minute TED Talk just for you to still be with Buddy, or just for you to return and go do what you was over there doing. So it's like, what was the point? It wasn't a point. And don't get caught up in that. Do not allow your friendships to be the self-sabotage to you. You are worth more than that. There are people that will love you and flower you and water your dreams, your aspirations. They're not going to be jealous of you, envious of you, draining you. There are people that legitly love you for you, flaws and all. And they have something also to bring to the table. Be mindful of that. It's nothing like going to a cookout and you imagine you the only person that brought something to eat. And everybody like, oh girl, she here, it's time to eat. No. Let there be a feast, a whole feast in the friendship. Okay? We got some turkey, we got some ham, all of that. Thanksgiving is coming up. Y'all know what I mean. Okay? Can y'all please do that for me? So the last thing I want to talk to y'all about before we close it out is the danger of self-sabotage. I feel like I've been touching on it, in the first 3 topics that I talked about, which was, the marriage, friendship, dreams. But, I just wanted to dig just a little bit deeper so that you can truly understand how this thing could become a danger and become dangerous. Self-sabotage first starts in your mind. So many times things are said to us that we say, oh girl, sticks and stones will break my words, but words will never hurt me. And you don't think anything about that. Listen, our mind is such a sponge. They say it's a sponge when we're kids. I beg to differ. I think it's a forever sponge. Yeah, the elasticity, it might not be able to pick up it. You know how like a sponge has a whole bunch of water in it, and it's in the water and you go to wring it out and a whole bunch of water, pours out. Yes, I believe with age, our water the amount of water that's going to be in there, it's not going to be as much as a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. So maybe that's what they mean. But I truly believe that even when people say things, that thing still tries to register in our brain, still tries to register in our mind. They say you are what you eat. You are also what you think. So when you think low of yourself, you think you're not going to be nothing. You think, nothing good ever happens to me. Baby girl, that's what it is. Nothing good. You're right. Nothing good ever happens to you. And that's how it's going to be because you've already allowed your mind to sit there. Like I mentioned in the last episode about boosting your self-confidence and how you have to make that hard mental reset. You still have to do that, even with self-sabotage, especially because when you are dealing with a mind that is used to self-sabotaging, it does it innately. Just how we swallow and we blink and we don't think about it. That's how your mind will work when you are used to doing self-sabotage. I'm telling you, I only realized that I was self-sabotaging myself through therapy. I thought that was normal. I thought life was just happening to me. Wait a minute. I thought that my days were just gloomy. I thought that I get knocked down 7, I get up 8. I thought that's what was happening. I didn't realize that I was the one tripping myself up. What? No, this can't be right. Give me another therapist. I don't know what she talking about, but she ain't talking about it right. Give me somebody else. No, yes, that is literally the danger of self-sabotage. Because remember, being the victim is one thing, but being the person that is also inflicting the pain, girl, that's a whole nother thing. It's one thing to know that you are underperforming and you don't have a solution. Cool. What do I do? Let's get you a life coach. Let's get you an accountability partner, right? Cool. Those people make great money. Life coaches, great. The ones that are about the right, shout out to y'all because y'all have really saved a lot of people's lives. But self-sabotage comes in when you know the solution to a problem, but you choose to continuously not go towards the solution. Matter of fact, you go the opposite way. You in a whole nother neighborhood, which in turn makes you rob yourself of the progression that solution would have gave you. And it's just a constant cycle, a revolving door. In and out, in and out, in and out. And you can tell when somebody is operating within their self-sabotage because of how they speak. Oh, no, girl, I'm barely making it. Or, they'll say, yeah, girl, I'm hoping to get this job, but, I ain't even, I already know that I'm probably not going to get it. I'm not even going, get my hopes up. I used to talk like that. I'm not just saying stuff up, or making stuff up. I used to say stuff like, well, I don't, I'm just hoping for the best. No, I had to start changing my whole vocabulary when I said I would not self-sabotage myself anymore. Even last week when I had to take the week off because I was underneath the table, you hear me? Sniffling, sneezing, rubbing my nose, all of that, and I did get a little down. I'm like, dang, this is really going to hurt the channel, all this. Listen. I had to say this is temporary. This is a couple of days that I need for my body to recoup. Because, I sounded like a whole NFL linebacker for a few days. And I was like, it's no way I'm getting I don't care how great this mic is. Shout out to Sure for making this. But I just know I was still going to sound like a whole male on this mic. So I said, let me wait till my voice gets bad. Let me make sure that, I don't sound like that. I had to change it up. Vocabulary is everything when you are trying to get rid of your self-sabotage. It truly is. Because a lot of it is negative self-talk. Again, once you say it, it then processes to your brain. And now your brain starts to believe it once it starts hearing it a couple of times. It's just like when you're teaching your child shapes and colors. Of course, when you first start, they're going to say a triangle is a circle and a square is a rectangle. But over time, repetition, and you keep correcting them, no, that's a square. No, that's a triangle. They will then start to say it. But imagine how crazy this sounds. But imagine if you continue to, oh, yay, great. And it's wrong. Like, no. But that's literally how it is with self-sabotage. You're praising yourself for doing the opposite of what you know to do. No, we gonna get right. I want to help you, because if you saw someone drawing out a loaded weapon on themselves in the parking lot saying, I'm about to blow my brains, I'm about to do it, some people would talk to them, try to talk them down. Most people would call the police. There's a guy out here, there's a girl out here, she has a loaded gun, she's saying she wants to unalive herself, blah, blah, blah. It might sound drastic, but that's what happens when you self-sabotage. You pull out that weapon on yourself and you say, this is it. I know I just applied for this job and I got the interview, but I haven't heard back for them in a couple of days, so I'm just gonna pull my application. There you go, pulling the weapon out. This guy, he took me out on this date, and he's not even really responding to me. Not taking into account that this man, works at night and y'all on 2 different time zones. But that's beyond the point. You and your self-sabotage mind. See, like, bet I'm gonna just block him off all social media. I'm talking from this. I am a professional blocker, baby. I will block you because you playing with my time, you playing with my heart. No, I will block you. And it's like, that happens in real life. Yeah, we can't see the guns and the weapons, or the self-sabotage with our own eyes that people are doing, or even the ones that we are doing to ourselves. But our body, our mind feels it, which is why the first thing, instead of saying something positive, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is negativity. Well, you got to ask yourself, okay, wait a minute. Why do I always assume that I won't get what I have worked for? Why do I always assume that when I get an opportunity, the person that gave me the opportunity is not going to give me the call back, or it's not going to follow through on their end? You have to start asking yourself, why? Is it because you don't feel like you are equipped enough, like how I had mentioned earlier? Is it because you feel like that you don't have enough skill? Maybe that you are doing it, but you just don't feel like you're good enough at it. Or do you're like, listen, I don't even know what the skill is, sis. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just out here living day to day, getting by. All of that. That could be the case. But listen, I want you to know that, one, I am not a licensed professional. Let's just throw that in there just in case. Okay? Got to cover my own behind. But yeah, I'm not. But there are ways that I have learned to really hone in and really ground myself. Because I found that a lot of the times my mind had already hyped this situation up to a 10, and I was still like reality was at a 2, a 3. I'll give you a 3, a high 4. But I'm like, the world is ending. Y'all need to get y'all bags. Y'all need to grab y'all pets, your kids, because the house is on fire. We are about to be unalive. Like, all of that. And it's like, it's just a little storm. It's okay. Like, that's where I had to learn the difference between checking the facts versus how I was feeling. Facts versus feelings. Because that's something that me and my husband got into so much in the early parts of our marriage. Every now and again, we'll have a disagreement about it. But it was heavy the first couple years of our marriage, of me feeling a way, and then him stating, okay, but this is what, I was trying to do, his fact, and me being like, okay, but I was still feeling this way. And it's like, okay, let's marry the two. It's okay that you were feeling sad, but he's also saying that was not his intention, and that's not the reality of the situation. But I was like, no. Again, that's like me having, just imagine that, I run and I beat on everybody's door like, yo, it's a huge tsunami. Like, it's coming for everybody. Y'all need to make sure that y'all run down in y'all basements. Like, grab everything that you can and go down in your basement. And it's just a little rain. Or a little puddle. These people would be trying to call the mental institution like, yeah, we got you one. Come and get this lady. She's crazy. We don't know what's wrong with her. Like, they be trying to get me up out of here. Be accountable and call it out. That is the biggest breakthrough that I had in therapy. Calling out my own stuff. We not talking about what he doing. We not talking about what she doing. We ain't talking about what they doing. You need to call out your own stuff, because when you can read yourself like the front page of the newspaper, you won't be so hurt when other people read you, or they try to be, when they talking about you, or they have an opinion about you. Y'all, people's opinions used to crush my heart. I used to be so sad and so offended when people would have an opinion about me. Now, looking in this camera, now, girl, I don't care. I don't care how you feel. And you better hope you catch me on a good day and I just say I don't care how you feel. Okay? Like, I don't care. So, like, because I know what it is. So when I became accountable enough to say, Shania, you are insecure about this thing. When the thing would appear, I don't feel no type of way about it necessarily, because I've already acknowledged that this is, I'm struggling with this and I'm working to improve by doing, XYZ. But when I say, oh, girl, no, I'm confident, I don't got no insecurities, I'm fine, ain't nothing bothering me. Okay, so I'm telling you how life works. Life will present you with that thing that you running from. I promise you it's coming. It's coming to meet you. It's about to dap you up. What's up? How you feeling? Okay? Like, be for real. And last but not least, trusting the process. Trust that if you are intentional about stopping self-sabotage, that you will be able to stop self-sabotage. You can't be doing all the work and then, when it's time to cash in, you're like, well, I don't know if my debit card gonna work. Girl, if you don't swipe that, I wish somebody would in the store. You didn't bought all this stuff in the cart. The lady didn't scanned it, and now you up here trying to don't embarrass me in public. Swipe the card. Like, no. And that's how you have to be. And I'm not going to lie. It's not going to start just in a day. But when you feel those moments of self-sabotage coming, because your situations might be different than mine. You might not have it in the top 3 that I named. But when you feel those self-sabotage things coming, you have to then swipe your card by exercising what you have learned, what you are trying to master. So when you have those arguments with your spouse and they're like, babe, but I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to stay like that. Okay, babe, that, I forgive you, and move along. You have it in your friendships, you had to cut somebody off. Okay. 6 billion people plus on the earth. You don't think you can find another friend? I'm telling you, you can. That's okay. Let them go. Move along. Your dreams, they're not doing, what you want them to do. That's okay. There's a lot of different ways to start a podcast. Imagine if I couldn't get all the equipment that the man said and do it exactly how he said. Now I'm like, oh, what? It's just not meant for me to have a pod. No. Trial and error. And that's really how you get through it. Trial and error, y'all. Be willing to truly try and fail. Because failure is not always because you did it wrong. Failure can be that you tried and it just didn't work. Which means that the sparks was going, but then once you tried to, start the car up, it turned, the engine turned, and then it kind of shut off a little bit. Okay, so now we know that, the problem that I thought I was having, it's not, it's not that. Okay, on to the next, the next thing that I need to look at to see. Trust the process, please. It's going to come. I promise you it's going to come. Can you do that for me? I didn't hear you. Can you do that for me? Okay, I thought that's what you said. Listen, I am so, so grateful for everything that the pod is doing. All the likes and comments and everything that we get on the TikToks and everything. But listen, I really want to grow the community. So what I want you to do is, can you like, comment, and share and subscribe to the channel? When you send it to your friend and you text her and say, girl, you need to hear this, please tell her to subscribe. When you send it to your homeboy, please tell him to subscribe. I really want to grow the community. We are at 77 subscribers. Y'all, I want to get the 1,000. Okay, so I want to make progress. I want to get the first 100, 200, 300, 400 for all down the line. I want the podcast to touch the ears of thousands, millions of people. Okay, I love y'all and thank y'all for all that you're doing. Listen, in the description, if you would like to donate to the podcast to help keep it running, whether it be by donating a month subscription to where we put the podcast up at, which is Buzzsprout. Definitely. Their link is in the description. You can donate to the PayPal. It's called the Jar of Love. You can donate. Any amount will help. I'm grateful for it. People have already started donating to the podcast, and I'm so thankful for that. Okay? Listen, I'm going to pin a comment down in the comment section, and I want to know if you have ever dealt with self-sabotage, what do you plan on doing to stop it? Okay? Listen, I love y'all so much. I know I say it all the time, but I really do. Okay? That's all I got for y'all this week. I'll see you next week. Peace.